All right, what's up, guys? I hope you're all having a good Monday and a wonderful start to your week. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out with me for another broadcast here on 412 Productions. You guys know the drill. Jump into the chat wherever you are, say hello. We'll do as many shout outs as we can before we officially get this party started at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. All right. Start over on D Live, and I see Qoys over there hanging out. What's up, Qoys? How are you? Good to see you. Shout out to Joe Elaine modding our chats across the interwebs. Thank you, Joe, for all you do. I see you over there on Rumble. If you're hanging out on Rumble, and I see a handful of you are, hit that thumbs up button for us. Share that link out there. And of course, really, pill.net is the best place to be because we go exclusively there for hour number 2 of the show. So if you want to watch today's show in its entirety, find us at 412 Productions over on pilled.net. If you're already over there, hit that red pill button and repost the show on your way in. Delia was in there first today down there in Arizona. Welcome, Delia. Lightspear, Lance, good to see you. Of course, there's Joe Elaine doing her thing. Appreciate you so much. Hey, Floyd. Good to see you, Mr. Due Diligence. Patriot 714, HL Paco. D Richard in the house. What's up, guys? Good to see all you hanging out early. Floyd with the Margarita Monday cookie kicking off our gold pills today. Appreciate you, buddy. Valhalla also modding the chat. Great to see you. R. Harrell, welcome. And Truth Teller 101. There's Space Cookie. And who else? Barb Robbins is out there early today. Tweety 52, welcome. And let's see. Laura Y repping the 412. Let's go. Let's go. Boys Blanc, how you doing? Thank you for the cookie. Best Nani ever. Happy Monday. How you doing, Nani? I hope all is well. Kim Ha, Cali Patriot 14. Good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Welcome. Welcome. Lucy Andrews, Pensiter over across the pond in England. Boys Blanc, thank you for the cookie. Says, don't distract me. I'm finishing decorating my tree. I broke a lot of bulbs. Ugh. Well, I hope it's going a little bit smoother here. Dangleberry, what's up, man? Pencil Tucky Hilljack, what's going on? Trisha E. And anybody else with us today? Pip's mom over in Wales, UK. What's up, Pip? Cynthia, good to see you as well. Range Pony, what's going on? Looks like most of the fam is still kicking it with our good friend Drunk Pinata over there on Thinking Logically, which is awesome. I love seeing him. Yeah, 305 people watching. That's amazing. That's so cool. Lynn RC7, thank you for the shades. Appreciate that very much. Yes. We are cruising here towards the end of 2024. It's crazy to think that a little more than a week from now will be Christmas, New Year's, and then, man, we'll be staring Inauguration Day right in the face, which is exciting. Very, very exciting. All right, Trump Red Pill 1. Well, it's 4 o'clock, so we're gonna start the intro, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the AQ High 17. Good to see you. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Let's go.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all, I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall, we're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult Nero is the power that's controlling the plight. With all you patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight, but I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sights? These people hate America and punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replace it with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're homeless and advised to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adult Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adult Nero.
All right, let's go. Let's get this week started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adel Nero. It is December 16th, 2024. And before I introduce the panel, I just want to apologize to all of you guys out there for Saturday. I promised a Saturday morning chat. And I was not able to to do that. I ended up being out very late on Friday night. I didn't go to bed till after 4 a.m. and it just wasn't happening, guys. It just wasn't happening. I didn't even wake up until well into the afternoon the next day. So I apologize for kind of no call, no showing on you all on Saturday. But I was just in absolutely no state to be in front of the camera on the internet. So I slept in and recovered, and it's a good thing I did. But anyway, I do apologize for anyone that was looking forward to the show. Hopefully this Saturday we'll have no such issues. But anyway, it's great to be with the lovely Maxanon of RiseAttireUSA.com. Max, how's your week going?
Well, it's certainly going to fly by because blink and it's Christmas.
Yeah.
We are traveling to upstate New York to visit my family for Christmas again this year. It'll be a little bit of a whole different thing. Like we've done Christmas Eve the same exact way for 30 years or more. And
Okay.
this year it's different. I'm like, how will I survive this stuff? It'll be fun. It'll be fun. So yeah, we're driving up on Friday and then be there for about a week and then come back for New Year's. And usually we spend New Year's in Philly with Rise's crew. They're just changing it up this year, but I love Christmas so much that like I literally love Christmas like so much. It even lights up. I don't know if
There you
it's
go.
pretty cool.
Nice.
I might put that on when it gets darker out. And I got my Trump tree going on back there. I'm really excited. I feel like Christmas this year, there's something about Trump's win. It just feels like Christmas spirit. Like it just feels like hope, and like Christmas is synonymous with like hope and joy and sharing and all these things that I feel a lot more of this year. So I'm like, and it pisses off liberals when you say Merry Christmas. So
Like,
it's great.
yeah, you're absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, glad to see you in the Christmas spirit, and hopefully you're able to safely and easily travel up north without any issues
Without any
this year.
drone
Yeah, without
attacks or
drone attacks, snowstorms, who the hell knows what we're in for here between now and the 20th. But no, it's great to be with you today, Max. Thank you for being on the panel. I know it's a busy time of year for you and Rise, so I really do appreciate you giving us some time today. And it looks like Pinata just raided the chat, so welcome to all of you guys piling on in from Thinking Logically. I hope you guys had an awesome time over there today on Pinata's show. Do me a favor, if you haven't already hit that red pill button yet, take a second to do that. Please repost the show, share the link. If you're on Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, please stop by the page at 412 and on 87 and give the Twitter broadcast a repost, a retweet, as well to help it find more and more new people out there. So definitely appreciate you guys helping with all those little housekeeping things that certainly go a long way. Drunk Pinata, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. I was able to listen to like a few minutes of your show today. Some pretty funny stuff. What stuck out to you with the mainstream?
Um, Not too much with the mainstream, just the fact that these people they're going in these various like soothing, calming mantras on the left. And so that for a while they were saying, I hope you get everything you voted for, right? That was one that was like they kept
Mm-hmm.
saying that over and over. And then they kept saying, "Oh, look, oh, he's back." The new one is, "Look, he lied to you. He backtracked on all his promises, and you got duped." And again, what does that do? It gives them their own little hit of dopamine of like, oh, they're gonna get it. It's like, but it's the same kind of theme overall. That they think that people are going to abandon Trump. They're thinking he's going to crash and burn so much. They're saying let him have his picks. Let him have all these people in there, and then when they get in there and they mess it up, you just watch. He won't even last his whole term. People will want him out so fast. Like, and so it's just a continuation of this whole thing of like he has to be so bad. Therefore, this isn't happening. And it's just the newest way for them to kind of cope and go through this of how could you possibly let this person in there? Why isn't the Democrats coming in to say anything or stop anything? And then the most recent appearance by the cackling hyena that we avoided has given Blue Anon another new hopeful thing. So that'll be fun over the next week or so, watching these people being like, she's the prosecutor, he's the felon. Just watch. Who's going to be sworn in on January 20th? It won't be Trump. It won't be Trump for that's sure. That's for sure.
Love it. I love the coat, man.
So anyway, if you haven't seen my show in a while, today was less news stuff and more me making up a bunch of shit, and those are always fun, especially when the inspiration or usually inspired by anger hits me and strikes me. And today would be a good one to go go check out because it's not no Joy Reid, no Rachel Maddow, but just me having fun, and that's what I hope to bring to every show. So today really was an improvised show of mostly peaceful commentary.
Love it. Love it. Well, good stuff, man. I'm glad you're here, and it should be a fun week as we head into the holiday. And yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Thinking Logically yet, definitely go peep one of the shows. Like I said, it goes from 2 to 4 p.m. leading right into this broadcast. And this broadcast is sponsored by our friends over at Earth
And
Guard.
also on weekends too. So at 4 p.m. Eastern on weekends, we also do the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. Overtime, Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, Earth Guard Botanicals sponsors this show up in Montana, run by our friend Jolene. She's incredible. She's an herbalist and a health coach and making amazing wellness products that have a massive 24% discount right now through Inauguration Day when you use promo code 412 at checkout. Great time to load up on your CBD oils, your fire cider, your elderberry tonic. Check out the Arnica salve for your sore joints and muscles with or without CBD infused. Get some pine needle extract or the sunshine and pine needle tea. And check out the critter juice as well, the all-natural insect repellent. You got your colloidal silver and so much more over at earthguardbotanicals.com. I'm not going to go into crazy detail today because there's a lot we want to get to. but it's an amazing company, amazing quality products, and run by a wonderful patriot and friend of the show, Jolene, up there in Montana. Again, promo code 412 for 24% off. Our normal discount here is 10%, so it's a huge uptick in discount. So it's a great time to stock up or give these a try if you haven't already. One last time, earthgardenbotanicals.com, promo code 412 at checkout for 24% off. That discount is good through January 20th, and it goes back down to 10% off at that point. So take advantage while you can. Hit that red pill button, repost the show, share the links out there, all that good stuff. We do really appreciate when you guys do that. So it looks like I have to reset this, and that's gonna make me watch the ads again. That's so annoying. But yeah, I wanted to start today. With a clip from Stephen A. Smith, and I just need a second here because it's in a Rumble clip embedded into the Gateway Pundit, and there's a couple ads. All right, so I got a lot of little clips there. We're gonna do a lot of little watching of some clips, but this one is Stephen A. Smith, and he's talking about the IG report that came out showing how there were confidential human sources, over 20 of them, breaking the law in the crowd on January 6th. Stephen A. is sick and tired of being lied to by the Democrat Party in the mainstream media. It's pretty fun to watch. Take a listen. And help if I actually shared my computer sound too. Hold on.
This is good. This is great.
Yeah,
I heard it in the background the other day and I was like, who is talking? They are on fire. This must have been what it was. It's good.
Yep, this is good stuff. All right, guys, enjoy.
The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appear to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that for the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. The belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that the process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? To the Democratic Party. You know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case that the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies, duplicitous, hypocritical, untruthful tendencies. And every time they made those accusations, we turn around and find out that at least some of them are guilty of the same shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of all of it. They've actually made Donald Trump look like he was right instead of them.
It cracks me up. It's
Wow.
watching him come to terms with it is fantastic, and seeing how aggravated he is because he is a lefty and he's been, for a long time kind of carrying the water for those kind of things. And now a lot of people like Stephen A. Smith, I feel like, are feeling very betrayed because they were broadcasting a lot of that crap, and they were made liars of by left-wing misinformation, and now they got to sit there and kind of come to terms with it, and he's pissed. He's pissed off at the deception, the lies, the bullshit. And I think Stephen A. Smith is going to be wearing a MAGA hat before Christmas 2026, guys. I think he's coming around big time. I think he's very, very fed up with the way the left and the mainstream, the establishment has operated lately. And he might become a very powerful voice when you talk about the culture shift and bringing a lot of these different demographics that ultimately are uninterested or captured by the leftist plantations to coming around and hearing and appreciating a different point of view. So every time we play one of his clips, it's closer and closer, closer and closer to sounding just like one of us. What do you think, Max?
How big is his audience size? Do you know
I have no idea.
about how many views he gets? Because as I heard the rest of it, I didn't hear that full clip the other day, but I heard the part where he's just like, "I'm sick of it," and that they look like they are right about something, and it could go either way. The second time I heard it, I hear him saying like, when you've been super anti-Trump, super lefty, and you still want to be relevant at all, you have a choice, and you can either double down and continue to look stupid, or you can take a little slithery path that goes, now they look like they're right about stuff, and I'm mad about that. They make Trump look like he was right. And right now, the assumption from like a Trump hater that's still listening is that he's not right, but they've made him look right, and the podcaster, the Smith in this case, gets to make it seem like maybe that's what he really feels too, as the process is going to continue to show that not only does he look like he was right the whole time, he has been right the whole time. He's not all the way there yet. And it may be he already knows that, and he's, slowly bringing along his audience, because you can't just come out and tell some of these types of people that Trump was right about everything the whole time. They're just going to turn you off, and if you want to stay relevant, you're doing what he's doing. And I'm hearing it from a lot of people. I heard it from Vance Jones the other day. It was awesome. I wonder if you have that clip. That was really great. They were talking about like, how did Trump outsmart us? How did this? They've convinced the audience that he's some doddering idiot that doesn't know anything, that can't spell. Yeah, he can't do anything right, and he comes to a moment of truth. And I won't even. It's great. I'll just let that be.
Yeah, let's play it since you brought it up. Let's go
And
ahead and play it.
I agree. These people have come to this conclusion before. They're not coming to this conclusion or are organically on air and making these statements. They've already thought this. This is them being comfortable enough to release it to their audience.
Yeah, and I think you're right, both of you guys, and you're gonna see this. It's gonna morph from he looks right to he is right to like I'm wearing a MAGA hat on my show going forward after a little while. You gotta bring your audience along slowly when you're these people. So, and he's been doing this, like, little seeds of doubt, like noticing things and kind of calling stuff out. And now he's getting to like the outrage, point of it where he's getting pissed off, like I'm getting sick and tired of being lied to by these people. They're making Trump look right. There's going to be that, straw that breaks the camel's back moment where he's going to be like, I'm done with this. I am officially supporting this man. And then it'll snowball from there. But I think we're on a fun path with guys like Stephen A. Smith. Now here's what I haven't actually seen this yet. This is what Max was referencing, Van Jones. I don't know who the guy is talking to, but this Matt Gates tweeted this. This is a clip
It's
for him,
Chris
right?
Saliza. He's supposedly a Republican, very heavy air quotes for CNN Digital.
Okay, okay. Here we go.
How the hell did Donald Trump figure out the mainstream media is the fringe and the fringe is now the mainstream? How the hell did Donald Trump figure out? I mean, Joe Rogan is obvious, right? Like, we knew the guy had a big audience. It's not like we were like stunned, but like, How the hell was he, the 78-year-old guy who doesn't even have a computer and still like writes handwritten notes, how did he become the guy who cracked the code on, to your point, running a cultural, I don't even want to say campaign, running
It was a movement.
cultural
Look,
movement, heading a cultural movement versus a campaign.
every one of your people knows Elon. Listen.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody keeps. I mean, the problem is you have a framework in your mind that how can Donald Trump? Guys, can we cut it out? Donald Trump is not an idiot. Donald Trump. Let me just be very clear. Donald Trump is smarter than me, you, and all critics. You know how we know? Because he has the White House, the Senate, the House.
Totally agree.
Court, the popular vote. He has a massive media ecosystem bigger than the mainstream built around him and for him, and a religious fervor in a political movement around him. And his best buddy is the richest person in the history of the world, and the most relevant Kennedy is with him. This dude is a phenomenon. He is the most powerful human on earth and in our lifetime, and we're still saying, well, how was this guy? We look like idiots to ordinary people.
You're totally right.
It's so funny. It is so funny too. And I wish it would like take it a step further. Like it's not a new phenomenon, right? It's not like Donald Trump just figured out about independent media and the power of the grassroots, the power of social media. Just
You know what's funny about that whole thing about just finding out? I was making this comment today at my show, Adel. That they're all up in arms that billionaires or outside influences are controlling the interests of the United States, and I'm like, you're 100 years too late for this.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we talked about last time around when Trump when it was not too big to rig in 2020, and we saw the silver lining of how people are waking up and the weird way that they're waking up because Biden would be in there and the ineptitude, and we saw that. And now you're starting to see them inadvertently be going down a red pill journey of like, why is there so much money and influence in politics? They're asking all the right questions and have no idea why they're saying what they're saying. But you know what?
Hilarious.
If that's gonna take them down that road, by all means. It's funny because they're acting like this has like never been contemplated before.
Well, it's hilarious to me too because like he was memed into the White House his first time around. They literally started a back channel operation with the Q thing that mobilized so many independent content creators into the cause and really created a huge groundswell. In 2020, it wasn't necessarily too big to rig, but they had to have known the damage that they had done by censoring like the Hunter Biden story and like literally banning Donald Trump on Twitter, censoring his posts, trying to talk about anything from COVID to election integrity. So it's like they understood then how powerful it was. And so did Donald Trump. I mean, he started his own independent social media company, Truth Social, just so he had a place to speak. Now, the embracing of podcasts during the campaign, that was new. That was definitely a new twist on things, and I know a lot of people give Barron credit for that, but ultimately, Donald Trump has been engaging and using independent content creators and social media as the main vehicle behind the America First movement from the very, very beginning, and it makes perfect sense. Like it's a movement of the grassroots in this country. It makes sense that the main driving force behind it would be decentralized, and it would be and people acting independently in a grassroots manner to create the momentum as opposed to hitching on to like a Fox News or some kind of mainstream influence or entity, establishment oriented entity to really gain its momentum and power. So
I think my favorite part of that clip is when he literally makes fun of the other guy and says, we look like idiots, but really he's like saying you look like an idiot. Like he's like, oh, why is Donald Trump always outsmarting us? He's like mocking the exact question because he knows that people spouting that script are acting. Like they know that Trump, they've always known that Trump is not an idiot and that they've been, promoting this propaganda that he's some sort of imbecile. And Trump has always played into it because he benefits from it every single time. Is when I was looking at some Trump quotes the other day, and one of them was never underestimate the power of being underestimated or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's brilliant. Like that's why he does it. And I know that it's been a frustrating battle for some of us, especially further back, that you're defending this guy being like, no, trust me, he's a genius. And then you see him misspell things and you're like, but look at how many times they reposted the thing. You can't explain it until they get it, they get it. And I think the normies are out there getting that. And whether it's because he's actually a genius or because of the observable fact that he does have the White House, the Senate, the House, the popular vote, he put 3 judges on the bench. He's probably going to do 2 more. Like, whatever way you want to slice it, Trump is the culture, is the way that everything is moving. No matter, it's so glorious. Everything they've tried failed. It's so great.
It really is. It really is. It's been amazing to watch develop over the years.
And we
And
talked, we talked about it before, but they tried to put everything on this one man, not realizing that the sentiment, they thought that they could destroy the sentiment by trying to personify it or prescribe it just to one man. And it's not working. And that's why it seems like everything in the world has revolved around Trump for all this time, because it just happens to be the final line in the sand, or the final, personality, or whatever whatever in history, whatever that red line was, that becomes the thing that becomes most known for a paradigm shift.
mm-hmm.
And it just happened to be them trying to ascribe, or trying to get rid of a organic movement by ascribing it to a person that they saw as fallible.
That's
Yeah,
because they
and
don't think like we do. They
I know,
think that
exactly,
we
absolutely.
are followers. They think that we don't know what Trump's really going to do, that he's going to do all this stuff and we're going to find out. They are completely either, genuinely or in the narrative, they are projecting the opposite. Like we tell Trump's going to do everything that he wants to do because he represents what we want, not the other way around for the first time in American popular history. Like they just don't get that like you can hate Trump if you want, but you really should. I mean, I don't want to say this. You should hate the majority of the country if that's your problem, because he's not doing it because he came up with it. He's doing it because we told him to do it. All of Trump's ideas that you don't like are our ideas. Let's spread it out. The power gets spread out with the decentralization. MAGA is decentralization. It's the destruction of the uniparty forever, because it's supposed to be about representation, and Trump is that. Trump is us. He's not just Trump. That's why he's so much bigger than a guy, and that's why they can't take him down. It's amazing.
yeah, and the boomerang effect of it is beautiful too. Like, Donald Trump, they see as the person they need to destroy to scatter the movement. And they've focused all their energy on him specifically, which is great, because they manage to target the one guy that is literally Teflon, and can absorb all of it, turn it into a mockery, flip it around, and send it right back at them.
It's
It,
like
it's
watching the Coyote and the Roadrunner like
yeah,
forever.
yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's fantastic. So they continue to attack this guy. Nothing they can do sticks to him, or really hurts him in the end. And by doing so, by unleashing all that venom and hatred and negativity, they really expose themselves for the hacks and dishonest disinformation merchants that they are. They've exposed all their deep, dark little secrets, all of their tricks, and really, really exposed, uh, again, how deceptive, and from a mainstream media standpoint, how deceptive and dishonest they truly are, the propaganda agents that they've become. So it's yeah, they've really stepped in it big time by attempting to destroy a man that really can't be attacked the way that almost anybody else in the country can be. It's awesome. Speaking of which, so I think we covered this last week. Forgive me if we did, but Donald Trump has become Time Magazine's now person of the year. Maybe I mentioned on Thursday, but that's very triggering to the left. Don Lemon was having a mini breakdown on his little podcast over this. Take a listen.
Well, take a look at this. Donald Trump is Time Magazine's person of the year. Now, if they wanted to make someone person of the year, they would have made someone who, and my God, I'm sure he loves this, right? If they want to make someone person of the year, I don't know, they could have done it with any person. People who they could have done it to someone who actually stood for democracy, who stands for democracy in the country. Now, you think about what encompasses person of the year. Just because you are elected president of the United States does not mean that you should be person of the year. What Time Magazine, what are you doing? Let me ask you, Time Magazine. What do you say to the women who, I guess, still read Time Magazine?
What's a woman, Don?
Or the women who don't they do like a whole Time 100 thing or something, which, what about the women who are on that list? What about that? I'm sure some of them will had dealt with issues that women have to deal with, like
you mean a thing that's entirely different from the thing that you want?
All kinds of things.
Yep.
You have someone on the cover of your magazine who is an adjudicated assaulter.
Don Lemon, you
have someone who inspired
insurrection. You literally walked up.
Go ahead, Pinata.
The guy literally stuck his hands down his pants and then put his fucking fingers on some guy's mustache and said, "Do you like the taste of dick?" Come on, it's fucking tone deaf. You think people would just forget about that shit, Don Lemon?
You should invite Jeffrey Toobin on to have this discussion with him, so it could be a real dream team of hypocrisy here. No, it is funny that he's gonna sit there and try to bring that up as if it's absurd. But again, you're gonna see some more of this too. We talk about ABC's settlement.
Yeah, I mean, it's so
Donald
perfect.
Trump.
Like, he's saying, just because you're elected president doesn't mean you should be on the cover. I'm sorry, did you say that when they put Biden and Harris together on the cover when they were elected? Or
no, I actually agree with him. It's not just because he was elected president.
That's
it was
right.
because he was elected president after he was shot at one time for sure, hit one time, another time they thwarted, fortunately, and beat 91 felony bullshit lawfare charges, had 2 bullshit civil cases that would wreck anybody, and still managed to become president. That's not just, I agree with him. He shouldn't be there just because he became president. It's how, dipshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not surprised the stupid, like, Don Lemon, the most irrelevant, crusty old donut at this point. Throw him in the trash. Like, I'm done with him.
Yeah, he's becoming very irrelevant, but I enjoyed listening to him bellyache over a fellow mainstream media entity giving Donald Trump props because, well, I think we're gonna get a lot more of that. I think they're gonna become a bit softer towards Donald Trump, just for survival sake. They see their ratings going through the floor, their credibility going through the floor. And they're going to try to pivot at least a little bit. I don't expect them to ever be like, full MAGA or anything, but I don't expect them to be quite as venomous as they were in the first term, because they see the culture shift. They saw what happened in November, and they know that their old ideology and philosophy is now aimed at the minority. The majority of people do not agree and are not believing what they say. So now they have to decide, do they continue to, in spite of their business profitability and viewership, because stick with the ideological crap, to be the political hacks that they've been for so long, or are they going to take a look in the mirror and at least attempt to feign some level of credibility and fairness towards Donald Trump to keep some of the more moderate supporters of him or normies out there engaged in their content, instead of completely alienating everybody but the extreme far left. I think most of these companies will kind of change the way they go about their business here, especially after the inauguration. Once the battle for the cabinet picks is done and over, and everything's kind of in place, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how some of these major networks handle themselves. Now, I still fully expect MSNBC to do what they do, CNN to do what they do, but I'm looking at ABC, CBS, NBC. NPR, PBS, some of these other networks. I'm curious. I'm curious as to how they evolve, and what they look like, a year or two from now. Now, there's a freak out, according to the Gateway Pundit, amongst mainstream media. It says ABC News employees and media figures lose their minds after Trump scores a massive $16 million legal victory over the network and George Stephanopoulos, $1 million for legal fees. So ABC employees and the rest of the left are not taking the news of Trump's massive legal victory over the fake news network and sniveling anchor George Stephanopoulos well at all. As the Gateway Pundit reported, Trump was supposed to be deposed the week before Christmas in his defamation case against ABC News. Trump sued the network earlier this year after Stephanopoulos claimed Trump found liable for rape by a Manhattan jury in the E. Jean Carroll case. The corrupt leftist jury found Trump liable for defaming certified nut E. Jean Carroll, not for rape. Stephanopoulos defamed Trump during an interview with Representative Nancy Mace earlier this year. He also smeared Mace, an actual rape victim, in the process. ABC and Stephanopoulos must now pay Trump a whopping $15 million of their for their sick comments, plus $1 million for the Trump team legal fees. The $15 million will be donated to a presidential foundation and museum established by President-elect Trump. Moreover, they must issue a statement of regret, as an editor note at the bottom of an online article on March 10, 2024, about comments made earlier this year that prompted Trump to file a defamation lawsuit. According to an independent reporter, Yashar Ali, ABC News talent and staffers are livid and shocked over the settlement. According to Ali, this is because they have faced budget cuts and layoffs in recent years. There's this tweet talking about it. The freakout has also extended to prominent media organization figures, including NPR and lead Democrat henchman and attorney Mark Elias. NBC also got in on the act. Let's look at some of these. So here's Eric Deggans at NPR says, "Wow, feels like more mainstream news organizations bending the knee." Sharon Waxham, I'm not sure what Sharon does. We can look into that in a minute. But so this is both confusing and disheartening. Disney and ABC caving to Trump. ABC News apologize in Trump defamation settlement. Here's a clip from Brian Stelter. Let's see what this is here. This should be interesting.
We've talked a lot in recent years about people using the courts trying to seek justice. Remember the Sandy Hook case against Alex Jones? Well, those defamation kinds of cases can also be filed by someone like the president-elect. So Trump filed a defamation suit. It was working its way through the courts. ABC was unable to get it thrown out initially. And actually, in the next few days, Trump was set to be deposed in the case. But ABC is avoiding going any further by settling. They're paying out $15 million plus $1 million in attorney's fees. They say this is going to go to a nonprofit, basically to Trump's future library. That's the idea. But maybe most importantly, Jessica, ABC is also apologizing, issuing a statement of regret.
Yeah, it looks like the wallpaper is interesting for sure.
Grandma's house.
Yeah, exactly. Hilarious. Mark Elias, here he is, says, knee bent, ring kissed. Another legacy news outlet chooses obedience. A reminder, democracy docket is fiercely independent and unapologetically pro-democracy. It will not back down. It will not obey. Sign up to support. Yeah, we'll get right on that. Here's another clip. This one's MSNBC. Take a listen.
Yeah, I think it's a concerning sign, Melissa, that ABC buckled here. They were just about to take the deposition of Donald Trump this week, which would have helped to solidify their case, which is already, in my view, a strong case. The phrases that they objected to was when George Stephanopoulos repeatedly said that Donald Trump had been found civilly liable for rape. of course, what the jury actually found was sexual assault, but the judge said that in the way the terms are commonly understood, Donald Trump did indeed commit rape. So it's a matter of interpretation about what that word means to most people. But ordinarily in defamation cases, you have to prove that the person was defamed, that there was actual malice, and that the gist of the story was inaccurate. In addition, you have to show that the person's reputation was harmed in this way. It seems that ABC had a very strong case here, and yet they sort of caved anyway. And I think it sends a bad signal to other media enterprises and might have a chilling effect or a self-censoring effect on the media as they cover the Trump administration. And of course, a vigorous free press is essential in any administration, even more so in one where Donald Trump has vowed to go after his enemy.
That's also, look at the
Ready to
look at
soak it all in.
Look what she's wearing around their neck.
Yeah, that dude is hideous.
That's ridiculous.
That's really, they're gonna put y'all back in chains.
Yeah, right. Bill Crystal says ABC's settlement with Trump feels like it could be an inflection point in the urbanization of our politics. I hope it isn't. Shut the fuck up, Bill Crystal. Nobody cares.
I think they're hoping by settling that he won't come after them for the rest of the actual defamation and potential collusion and things like treasonous, anti-American, you name the crimes. I mean, I've been listening to, I don't know if any of you guys heard Steve Bannon's speech last night at the New York Gala thing. He is not even tiptoeing around that the media and people, he's like, we're going to want to see your emails, Rachel Maddow and executives at CNN, MSNBC, all these places. He is saying the things exactly like what we would hope to hear. And I don't know if that's part of the negotiation to like have one of your fighters going full retard and then some of them not going enough. And then you're going to end up somewhere in the middle. But he's saying you better save your text, your emails. We want to know who you've been colluding with, who you've spoken with Jack Smith and the Biden White House and Merrick Goblin and all this stuff. And it is awesome to see him where we are with the media's culpability and the brainwashing, lying to propaganda, especially when you can tie it to like the legal framework to assist in the invasion and takeover and subversion of the American government. That's what they did. At the very least. And I think that this settle is like a little hope that maybe they won't come after all of us for the rest of it. And it won't matter. They will, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the civil thing's one aspect, but you're right. What you're talking about is sedition and straight up treason with the way a lot of these media companies have behaved over the past, for a long time, really, but especially since Donald Trump has been involved in American politics. You've really seen some extremely seditious and evil behavior from the mainstream media, far beyond defamation, but getting into, again, actual like sedition, I think. Here's MSNBC again talking about this and actually asserting the same thing that ABC just had to pay for. So be curious to see if Donald Trump goes after them next. Take a listen.
I would just say, this feels like it has a real chilling effect. Shout out to the standards department. Okay, standards is always making sure that we are keeping the bar high and substantive and accurate. But what George Stephanopoulos said in that interview, it seems to hold up with what the judge said after the fact. And now his news organization and himself, George Stephanopoulos himself, is paying $1 million of his own money to the lawyers, and ABC $15 million. It's insane. I would just say, this feels like it.
I love it. I love watching them seethe over it. And I think there's a lot more coming, on this front. So, I'll get into some of these clips here because that's kind of what this was going to lead into. But Donald Trump, I don't know what this was. He's taking questions at Mar-a-Lago. I guess just doing a press conference.
Yeah, he did a press conference today at 11 something. That was starting with a Japanese, the founder of SoftBank in Japan, one of the biggest, I guess, institutions there. I don't know if you guys saw the announcement that he said the other day, something about if you if you invest $100 billion or more, then this and this and this are going to, somebody did, like day one, this guy who's a friend of Trump's came to pledge and announce that he is investing over $100 billion. And I don't want to say too much about it, but it's amazing because the guy gets up and he's Japanese and very proper and very sweet. And he's saying how happy and optimistic he is. And he's putting his money there. This is how excited I am. Trump's like, oh, if you're that excited, why don't you make it 200 billion? Right now, like right on the spot. And the guy's laughing and he's like, you're going to do it. He's going to make it 200 billion. Just like that, art of the deal right in front of your eyes. But anyway, then there was questions. That's the setup of what you're going to hear now.
Yeah. So, and I saw that too. It's as a great, and I think I might even have a clip we'll play in a little bit. But so what Donald Trump did is he said that anyone that invests over 1 billion, just 1 billion, is going to have basically a lot of the red tape removed and be prioritized and fast tracked when it comes to regulations and to be able to hit the ground running with your investment. So the fact that this banker came in and immediately is looking to go 100 times over that threshold to really invest is pretty awesome. And maybe even 200 billion, which I think Donald Trump says could create over 100,000 new jobs in this country right off the bat. I mean, the guy's not even president yet. You have Canada and Mexico already like breaking up caravans.
I don't know about that. TikTok seems to think he's definitely president right now.
TikTok. Well, that's
how the tables have turned.
TikTok would know, I guess. No, but seriously though, like he's not even president yet, and he's already. You've got Mexico breaking up caravans, starting to secure their own borders. Same with Canada. They're both terrified of the tariffs that'll be coming and changing the trade relationships with those two countries. You got Ukraine and Russia looking for peace, Hamas and Israel looking to have a ceasefire and peace as well. The entire world is already improving, or at least it was up until the whole Syria thing happened. But the point is that he's already making a massive effect. Now you have banks coming in and looking to make major investment into the United States, like we just heard today. So imagine what we'll see when he's actually in the White House. I mean, we're still over a month away from that, and we've already seen big movement around the world and in this country. So it's very exciting times. Now let's get into some of these clips from the press conference. I'm not playing these in any order, or in chronological order. I wanted to start with a couple here because this one's more related to the mainstream media. So it says Trump is about to get another $15 million settlement. Today he announced that he'll be filing a lawsuit against CBS 60 Minutes for editing the Kamala Harris interview. Take a listen.
One on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was a crazy answer, a horrible answer, and they took the whole answer out and they replaced it with something else she said later on in the interview, which wasn't a great answer, but it wasn't like the first one. The first was grossly incompetent. It was weird. And that was fraud and election interference by their news magazine, a big part of CBS News. One on 60 Minutes, you know about.
So that's such a big deal when you really think about it in the context of a presidential election. When you have campaign finance laws, what 60 Minutes did there, it wasn't just dishonest and deceptive from a standpoint of lying to the audience, but it was making a candidate look better than she is. An interview is one thing. You give her an interview, fine. But when you take that interview and you start cutting it up, replacing answers to protect her or to, like I said, improve her image in any way, you're essentially now running a political campaign ad on her behalf for a 40-minute interview or however long it is. So we've made this point many times before, but I think it bears repeating. When you do that, you're giving them what's called an in-kind donation, and that is when a company provides its services or products to another organization for free. Technically you're getting a donation of whatever the value is of that service or product. So if CBS, let's just say, charges $1 million for a 30-second ad on their network, if they were to give Kamala Harris a 30-second free ad, that's the equivalent of them making a $1 million in-kind donation. Now, there are campaign finance laws that prevent any company or organization from donating more than a certain amount before that becomes illegal. Poor Dinesh D'Souza actually did time for like a few $1,000s over a limit on a candidate, right? So you think about what CBS did. Let's say it was a 20-minute interview, right? At $1 million every 30 seconds, you're talking a $40 million now in-kind campaign donation, because that interview is no longer journalism. It's no longer investigative or just a conversation. You have them cutting and editing it on the floor there to make her look better, sound better, and more coherent. They're essentially giving her campaign ad, and that doesn't even bring into the many segments of the 98% positive coverage she got versus the 95% negative coverage he got. You can make arguments that all that stuff in a way is in-kind donations, but this interview particularly, I think you have a real criminal case here when it comes to CBS.
I don't think the defamation of what they did is as big here as the fact that I think they understood that if there was discovery, you would see that the campaign themselves told them to change it.
Yeah, and that's
you see what I'm saying? Because I don't even think what they did is necessarily, because that's almost par for the course. You know what I'm saying? So for him to sue on that one in particular, for me, it would be because they think discovery will show that the campaign was in coordination. And that would have been the violation that you would show that would go into the in-kind campaign contribution.
Yeah,
what a red pill that could be.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't know if you even need to show coordination. I think it's no longer journalism when you're cutting and editing answers, right? Like, it's one thing if you cut an answer a little bit short, maybe, or like leave out a piece of it, to shorten the interview. But when you replace a full answer and then you grab a different answer from a different question that they asked and you slide that in its place, we're at a whole different level now. Like, you're not just broadcasting an interview. You're broadcasting something different that's not real. It's been faked. It's been contrived. It's not what you're representing. An interview, you're giving us something else. What is that something else? Maybe the coordination is important. It probably makes the case more solid, but either way, you're providing value for free to a campaign. There's a monetary value attached to that, and I think it should be really, really closely looked at. It's really dirty stuff that they're doing. Yeah,
I totally agree, and I think that we're gonna start. We've been watching, especially Pinata. I've been watching the things the media does, the illegal, borderline illegal, or at least egregious bias and opinions and all this stuff. Not to mention, like, the fact that this is all now conduct that's happened in the frame of an election, which, again, like Adel's saying, brings into question the in-kind donations, things like that. He also, in the next sentence after that clip that you just played, said that he's also suing. There was a pollster who had reportedly been pretty good. Like, he said great up until, I don't know if you remember, guys, there was a poll that showed him losing Iowa, like right before the election.
Yep.
And everybody made a big deal about it on the left. They were like, oh my God, this is a trend. It's like, all his support's falling off last minute and all this stuff. And it was a suppression poll. It was manipulation. It's obvious. We know that they do this. And we are so used to them just doing this and us having to overcome it and win anyway, that we were just operating, all along. But that's not okay. That kind of stuff has to stop. And I think another lawsuit in this direction will be the beginning of the red pilling on everybody else on the polls and how they've been fake and how they've been election manipulation. We don't need, you'll see voter fraud too. You'll find all of the evidence, I think, is going to come out. But there's other ways that between the media, the polling, everything else, the coverage has always been, it's a war of narratives. And when you're tipping the scales, we need some fairness. We need some balance. And there's anything that Trump can do that can make things a little more fair for the truth, for everybody else, for the populist best idea to come out, he's going to do it. It's personal. He's doing it. And you're going to have a lot of wins, guys. Get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Raid on Antifa for rating the channel. Appreciate that very much. And actually, Donald Trump brought up the that poll. So we'll watch this and then we'll go to our break. Here's Donald Trump talking about that Iowa poll. Take a listen.
I'm going to be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers. And it was interesting the way she did it. She brought it down 2 weeks before. She said I was going to only win by 4. That was a big story. But that was good because she brought it down from like 22 points to 4 or whatever the number was, way up. Way up, an easy win. We never even thought to go there. I respect them, I love them, and they understand there's no reason to go there because she brought it from way up, walk away, which it was, and it turned out to be in the election too, by the way. It was a win by many, many points. And then she brought it down very smartly to 4 a couple of weeks before, and everyone said, wow, that's amazing. He's only up by 4 points. Then she brought it down to where it was down by 3 or 4, whatever number she used. And that was the Des Moines Register, and it was their parent. And in my opinion, it was fraud, and it was election interference. You know, she's gotten me right always. She's a very good pollster. She knows what she was doing. And she then quit before. And we'll probably be filing a major lawsuit against them today or tomorrow. We're filing one on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was...
All right, so... there you go, going after them for the fake suppression polls. And that one was really egregious. It was obviously meant to give the mainstream media, something to build momentum for Kamala Harris, whose campaign was struggling, and that was on the heels of the Tony Hinchcliffe Puerto Rico joke, and the conversation became that Donald Trump having Tony Hinchcliffe tell a joke about Puerto Rico turned Latinos away from him, and that was the cause of like this poll and what was gonna make Kamala Harris win. Which come on, this is it's such a pathetic. If you followed with that and you believed it, I don't know what to tell you. You're too gullible for life.
I wouldn't put that past them if they thought in hubris that they were going to win. So much so that they wanted to send up a narrative of why they won was that women showed up to vote, right? Because the whole thing about that Iowa thing was that even people in their older women are still voting based upon this abortion issue and I would not put it past them in their hubris to try to do something like that, to try to feel so confident that they tried to precede a narrative.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either, man. These people are very far up their own asses much of the time, to where I think they do believe, they do get high on their own supply. I guess would be the best way to put it. All right, let's take our break. We're gonna go or play a quick video on the other side. We're going exclusively over to pill.net for hour number 2. I hope you guys on Rumble, D Live, Cloud Hub, Odyssey, and Twitter will all come over and keep hanging out with us. I put the link in the video description and in the live chat on Rumble. I'll throw it over on D Live's chat as well. If you can't get to the links, it's very easy. Open up your browser, type in pill.net, and find us over there at 412 Productions. And like I said, we'll be there for the 5 o'clock hour. It's a great platform. It's free speech through and through, built by the grassroots, for and by the grassroots. And I think you guys will really come to love it. It's free to join, great community. And again, the best, the most true free speech live streaming platform on the internet right now. No one else even comes close when you read terms of service and whatnot. But yeah, we'll play this video on the other side. We'll turn off the other platforms. We'll check in with Max and see what's going on with Rise Attire, and then we'll also read your Gold Pill chats as we head into the second hour. I got more clips from this Donald Trump press conference. We'll run through them. I think I got 3 or 4 more clips from that, and then we'll jump into a handful of other topics as well here. But it's going to be a fun second half. Like I said, lots of little clips and media I want to go through. So I think you guys will enjoy it. But for now, let's play our video, and we'll be back in 45 seconds.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on pill.net. Free speech lives here.
Okay, what's up, guys? Thank you to everybody out there who jumped on over from their other platforms to come join us on pilled.net for the second half. Again, if you'd like to keep watching, it's free to sign up and very easy to access. Just go to pilled.net in your browser and find us at 412 Productions, and there's links in the Rumble and DLive live chat, the Rumble description as well, to make it real easy on you guys. If you're not going to jump over and join us, no worries. Tomorrow we've got Season Pixels on the panel. Wednesday we'll have Craig Mason of Reasonable TV. Thursday's Taking It Back with Frank and Zach. And Friday we'll have M3 Methods of Madness joining the panel. So lots of good stuff coming up this week. So I hope to catch you guys over on Pilled for the 5 o'clock hour. Otherwise, have an awesome rest of your Monday, and we'll hope to catch you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m.